Alright guys, gonna run a couple of these saws. It's raining. I've not started this saw in a couple of weeks, I don't think. It's the 372 with the big bore and the pop-up. Gonna make a cut with it, and then, I don't know, we'll grab a couple other and just put you guys together a video of some saws, seeing how they cut, and hopefully we don't get rained out. Guys, that is a strong saw, one of the strongest I've built. Next I'm going to get that 288 out and put the same bar and chain on it and see how she runs. And I have a mess of cookies and stuff behind me. Wood everywhere. My shed's full and running over, and we just got wood everywhere. Wood over on the property here. You can never have too much firewood. Alright guys, this 288, it has the same bar and chain. I have ran it a little bit already to warm it up and kind of cut down the other side of that we were getting hung up in with the other saw. I can tell you it is a mean saw. I love the way it sounds. That is a mean saw. It don't even need ported. If you look, this is not anything really easy to cut. It ain't hard either by any means, but it is really knotty and been down probably, I don't know, several years. So it's done a little bit of seasoning and just makes for a really good test log. Alright guys, that saw is a ripper, and I'm not trying to race these by any means. Just kind of throwing together a little video to show how they cut. I mean, the 372, it's not even broken in yet. This one, you know, it's an older saw, probably has a lot of hours on it, but, you know, it still has all the compression I believe it ever came with, and I honestly don't think it needs a thing other than this clutch cover worked on. I probably will eventually pick up a new one for it, or maybe we may even just find another used OEM one to go on this and not put any aftermarket parts on it at all. Some of my saws I'm kind of weird, I like to leave them that way, but others I really don't care about, and I don't care to use the aftermarket. But yeah, I really like it. It pulls hard. I'd really love to have it in a big piece of red oak, but I'm sure it'll eventually happen. I'd say it's going to have a home here. I probably don't know if we'll port it, but honestly, I believe I could just tear this saw down, do a quick port job on it, and it would be fine, and probably still has a lot of hours left on it because she'll sit and idle all day and got a good clean 4-stroke up top, and like I said, has a ton of compression. I can use this same chain on any steel saw, so what I might do next is take the ms380, the kit saw we done, and put a bar and chain on that and run it and see just how it compares to these. But in that size of wood, I'm not expecting a real big difference in any of them. And then I'll just look in the cabinet and see what's got fuel in it, and we'll just try to run some fuel out of these things today and put you guys a little video together. Dress the rails on that bar. It's not cutting bad crooked, but chain was cutting straight on the other bar, so we'll have to check it out. Not sure what we'll run next, but that saw there's no slouch either. It's 72 cc's. That 372 I think is around 75, 76 with the big bore, and obviously the 288 was 87, but this saw holds its own. It's no slouch. Alright, this is not a bad running saw. It's actually one that I've had sitting here barred up as a go-to saw just to get some time on it and kind of get my money's worth out of it, which I believe I already have. 72 cc's, it's basically an 038 mag, but a Chinese version. For those of you that are new, I have a couple videos on this. I have the whole assembly showing the port work, but in that video I also show that that cylinder was junk. It did perform well, ran good, but it just didn't have the chain speed that a ported saw should have, and I'm wanting to say about 11.4 I think was the best I could get a good clean 4-stroke out of it. So we picked up a Nicosil plated top end from the Duke, done a little work to it, and as you can see, the saw's a ripper now. It's just totally different. I honestly think that it'll outcut the MS440 kit saw that I done, but it does have 2 cc's on that saw, so it's very possible. I don't know. I think I've got the fuel out of that saw, and I really don't care to put any back in it to do test cuts, so maybe sometime in the future when we have both saws out together, we can run them against one another. But again, I'm not really trying to race these, just, you know, doing a little video and just comparing how they cut. All 3 saws so far have ran good and strong and had way more power than I ever need to cut firewood or to do what little milling and tree felling I do. But next, I'm pretty sure our 99 cc saw still has fuel in it. What I'll do is get it out and swap out the bar and chain and give it a run, see how it runs compared to the rest. Alright guys, a little bit about this one. I've shown it a few times, but honestly I don't think I have it cut in anything but the initial test cuts when I built the saw, and who knows how sharp the chain was back then or anything, or what I was cutting, but we just swapped the bar and chain right off the 380 onto this one. A little background on this, I do have a video showing the build. These are actually old 064 cases. You'll see they have the short oil tank. Some of the early 066s shared that same case, but I did put a 56mm Nika seal top in from the Duke. It was one of the nicest aftermarket cylinders I've ever looked at. You do have to modify these older cases to accept that larger piston. On the newer 066s and 660s, I'm pretty sure that the piston will clear those cases, but don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. I think we put NWP bearings and seals, whatever Wolf Creek sells. I think it was may have been NWP bearings and a highway gasket and seal set, I think's what we put in this. OEM starter cover, flywheel coil, the rear handle and the carburetor came from the Duke. Those are both his carburetors. I've had pretty good luck out of them. I just had one that had a problem with the needle and seat, and he's already sent me a new carb back out in the mail. So if you're looking for an aftermarket carb, they're going to run you about double of what a Farmer Tech would or some of the other cheap knockoff ones, but just another one of those deals, you get what you pay for, but you know it's going to be about half of the price of an OEM. Farmer Tech plastic, I think I'm also running a whole Farmer Tech clutch setup in it. It's got an OEM oiler, highway dual port muffler, highway handlebar. Guys, this one nickel and dimed me to death. I kind of wish I hadn't built it because I have so much money in it, I don't even get it out and use it. Just for the plain simple fact of I don't really want to screw it up. I know that sounds crazy, but it's not that I don't have any faith in my work. It's just that I've got probably a little over 900 bucks on building this thing, which is insane. I could have built 2, almost 3 Chinese kit saws for that and had close to the same saw at the end of the day, but you know, we live and learn. It is what it is, and you know, I took an old set of junk cases and brought them back to life. But anyway, I'm gonna quit running my mouth. I have had this out, and the big poplar that we cut and milled up, I did fall that tree with it, and I actually cut a bunch more and a bunch of stumps down with it that day. But it's a really strong saw, has a lot of bottom end grunt. I didn't really port it for high RPM power, but it will spin up high if we want it to. So what I'm gonna do is go out, get her warmed up, and make a cut for you guys. As you can see, we are into a knot at the top and the bottom. I've done cut part of the top one off just so it wasn't in our way. And this saw, I don't even remember when it was started last. I'm guessing when I went over and cut those trees and stumps down. So we'll just have to see how it does and hope starter hope don't break. strong. Alright guys, as you can see, that thing, it just flat out cuts. I would have to say it's probably the most powerful one out of the bunch, which I'd hope so. It's dang near 100 cc's, and it's ported and probably has a lot. It has more compression than any of the others, we'll put it that way. I know it's over 200 psi. And again, that's a lot of the reason I don't get out and run it a lot, because I have no idea how long the crank bearings or anything would last at that. I'm sure they'd be fine, but still at the end of the day, I rarely need a saw that powerful. Just one of those things, just kind of wanted it. I would be curious to see how it does in a mill, because it just don't seem to really build up a lot of heat at all. So I don't know, we may do that someday too. But again, we put together the $350 Chinese saw for that. You know, if something goes down on it, we just rebuild it and go on about our business. But anyway, the log gets bigger now. We're into 2 pretty good size knots, and the last cut I made, I timed it against the 288's cut, and it was still just a little bit faster than it. So I'd say she's doing pretty good, but you know, you'd be able to tell more about on a, you know, 24 30-inch piece of wood. And at the end of the day, wasn't racing them anyway. It was just for fun, just to pull a few saws out and run them. And I'd honestly never had a bar and chain on the 288, and it's like the 3rd time I've had a bar and chain on this. So, you know, just something fun to get out and do. We may do something like this with the smaller saws. I'd like to run that Husqvarna 440 against the 340. May even do that today, I don't know. Just rained off and on all day and not really been able to do much of anything else. So yeah, this was fun to get out and do. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got any questions, as usual, just shoot me an email or put it in the comments. Yeah, you guys stay safe, and y'all have a good one.